Hello, folks. What are we going to do today is we're going to talk about some ginseng, and we're going to talk about types of ginseng, types of wild American ginseng. And there are several different, many different types of wild ginseng. I've got some pictures here I'm going to be showing you. And there different types are called cultivars by people who are into gardening and horticulture, which is a scientific name for gardening. A cultivar is a variety of a plant species, and if you look at one particular like red tomato, and then you look at another red tomato, and you've got one in one hand, one in the other hand, they could be different species, different cultivars, but they look almost identical. And examples of that is green bell peppers. There's several different types of green bell peppers, and you really can't tell the difference in them just by laying one down on the table and another one down on the table. Uh, One cultivar, the peppers may be just a little bit larger than the other one, and red tomatoes are the same way. Some of them are kind of small, and some of them are a little bit larger, but a lot of times you really can't tell the difference. And then also, you take yellow sweet corn. There's several different types of yellow sweet corn. Uh, so just because a plant looks the same as other plants, it doesn't mean that it is the same. And there are, in my opinion, definitely several different types of American wild ginseng, but it's all grouped together as one type. So what we need to do is we need to talk about the different types. And as you can see on the screen there, I've got a bunch of pictures, and we're going to go through and talk about the pictures. But first of all, let's talk about the types here. Um, there's a two-pronged plant, and don't see too many of them in this area. What I see mainly, and I've been out in the woods a lot, hunted and dug a lot of ginseng, and I bought a lot of ginseng because I've been a ginseng dealer for a number of years. There's a three-pronged plant and a four-pronged plant, and I've seen a few five-pronged plants, but not too many. I've never seen a six-pronged plant or a seven-pronged plant. And a lot of patches that you run into, uh, you'll have a mixture of three-prong and four-prong plants. And I've run into patches where there's been maybe four prongs and a couple of five prongs. The only five prongs that I've only ran into, and I've only ran into a few of them, is I found a five prong, and in the same patch, just looking around, I found another five prong. And generally, that's what you're going to have. You run into patches with only like three prongs, and then you'll run into patches that have some three prongs and four prong plants. Um, and you'll run into patches maybe that all it'll have in that particular patch is five prong plants. But in this area, you got three prongs and four prongs. Now the two prong plants, there are two prong plants, but there's very few of them around. Mainly in this area, it's three prong and four prong plants. So what we're going to do, we're going to go on to here to the next slide, and we're going to talk about these guys. Actually, what we want to do is I want to show you some pictures of some ginseng plants. And first of all, we'll talk about, we'll pull this picture up here of a baby ginseng plant. And that's what baby ginseng plants look like. They only have three leaves. Not until they become two-prong or three-prong or four-prong or five-prong plants do they develop these other two tiny leaves here at the bottom. So that's a baby ginseng plant. So let's go ahead and take a look at some more. And we'll take a look at a two-prong plant. Now, two-prong plants are any type prong. If it's a legitimate number of prongs, the two-prong plants, they're directly right across from each other, 180 degrees apart, directly right across. And you'll see that when you take a look at the 3 prongs and the 4 prongs. It's like you have a circle and you cut that circle in half. One plant, you draw a line from one side of the circle to the other side of the circle, right in the middle of the circle, and one prong will come out on one edge and the other prong will come out on the other edge. That's a 2 prong. So let's go down here and take a look at another picture of a 2 prong. Another picture of a 2 prong. You can see they're 180 degrees or directly right across from each other. And we'll take a look at, let's see if I got any other 2 prongs. No, that's the, yeah, there's one other 2 prong here I got a picture of. I'll take a picture, look at that. You can see it's directly right straight across from each other. Like you're cutting a circle in half. So that's a legitimate 2 prong plant. And it may be that ginseng goes through this 2 prong stage before it develops into a 3 prong or 4 prong plant. I'm really not sure about that. Let's take a look at some 3 prong plants. And here's a picture of a 3 prong. I'll bring that up. And you can see if you were to take that circle and you were to start at 0 degrees, come down to 120, and then go 120 degrees from that. In other words, divide that circle into 3 parts, and each prong would be coming off of one of those lines coming straight out from the center of that circle. So this is a 3 prong plant, a legitimate 3 prong plant. Take a look at another 3 prong. See if I have another one here. I don't see that I have another 3 prong here, but I've got quite a few pictures of 4 prong plants, so let's start taking a few pictures through looks at those. That's a 4 prong plant. You can see if you divide that circle into 4 equal parts, then the prongs are coming off at 90 degrees. It's 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180, and 270. And this is a picture of a plant later in the season, sometime probably in August or early September. It looks, plant is still green, but the berries are red on it. So that indicates it's sometime during the fall. So go ahead and take another look at another 4 prong. This is another 4 prong right here. A beautiful picture. And it's a 4 prong plant. This is early in the season because the berries have not even formed. So this is early in the spring. But this is a legitimate 4 prong plant here. Take a look at another one. It's another 4 prong plant. And this is later on in the summer, just before fall. You can see that some of the berries are red, some of the berries are still green. So that's in the late summer, getting ready to head into fall. Go on down and take a look at, this is another 4 prong plant here. And this is in the late fall. This particular prong right here has already lost a few of its leaves, and the berries are all red, getting ready to fall off. But this is a legitimate 4 prong plant here. Now I've also got a picture of a 5 prong plant, and this is a legitimate 5 prong plant. And you can see that if you take and divide that circle into 5 equal parts, then each one of these prongs will be coming directly off of that, one of those things drawn out from the center of that circle. So this is a legitimate 5 prong plant. And I have seen 5 prong plants in a while, but I have never seen any 6 prong plants or 7 prong plants. And if anyone out there has seen or has pictures of a 6 prong or a 7 prong that are legitimate, I mean legitimate actual 6 prongs or 7 prongs, I'd like to see them. Now there's a lot of bogus reports out there of 12 prong plants and 10-prong plants and others, but there is really, in my opinion, no such thing as a 6-prong or 7-prong plant. What happens is people erroneously report plants as having more than 5 prongs. Now, if you've got a couple of different stems coming off the same root, and each one of those stems has a 4-prong plant, then people will report that as an 8-prong ginseng plant. That's not true. What they have is they have 2 stems coming off of one ginseng root, which is not uncommon. You can have 3 or 4 stems coming off the same ginseng root. And I've seen some really, really big ginseng plants that actually have stems shooting up along the bottom of the stem. They'll have the 4 main prongs or 3 main prongs at the top of the stem, and then at the bottom of the stem where it goes into the root, they'll have more shoots coming out. So there's a lot of bogus reporting out there of 6 and 7 and 8-prong and 12-prong plants and so forth, and all that is bogus. In my opinion, there's only 2-prong, 3-prong plants and 4-prong plants and 5-prong plants. 5 prongs in this area are very scarce, but however, if you got some seeds from a 5-prong plant and you planted those, then you would probably wind up with a ginseng patch with a lot of 5-prong plants in it. I'm sure that there's different types of American ginseng. I think the ginseng that grows up in northern West Virginia is not the same ginseng that grows down in southern Kentucky or up in New York. New York ginseng is not the same as the ginseng that's growing down in Kentucky. There are different cultivars of ginseng, I'm convinced, and probably there are roots. There's also probably some of the cultivars are 4-prong and some of the cultivars are 5-prong plants. So if anyone has any legitimate pictures of any 6 or 7-prong plants, I mean legitimate pictures, then I would appreciate it if you would send me an email at my email address there. It's shown at the bottom. I'm circling the cursor around it, and send me some pictures of those plants. I would appreciate them. And also, if you got any experience with 5-prong ginseng plant patches, and if you have a patch that's got a lot of 5-prong ginseng plants in it, I'd be interested in hearing from you and let me know about your experiences. Like, I've got a patch with 30 ginseng plants in it, and most of them are 5-prong plants. I'd be interested in hearing from you. This is something that I'm kind of interested in, and I'm sure a lot of you people out there in ginseng are interested in it, so I'm making this little video about it. So thanks a lot. You folks have a nice day. If you like the video, please subscribe. Thanks.